Today we're going to look at a nice and quick algebra problem from the 2007 team selection test from Argentina. So let's see what our goal is. We'd like to find all real numbers x satisfying the equation x squared over x minus 1 plus the square root of x plus the square root of x over x squared equals x minus 1 over x squared plus 1 over the square root of x plus x squared over the square root of x minus 1. So let's notice that every term in the right-hand side, well really it's like the bottom-hand side here, is the reciprocal of a term in the left-hand side or in the top. Notice that here we have x squared over x minus 1, here we have x minus 1 over x squared, and we have the same correspondence for the remaining terms. So that's actually really good news. That's going to help us quite a bit, and we'll introduce some new variables to take advantage of that. So let's maybe set, I'll call it capital A equal to x squared over x minus 1. So that'll be like this term, and then this term here is 1 over A. Then I'll set capital B equal to the square root of x minus 1. So notice this is 1 over B. And then we'll set c equal to the square root of x minus 1 over x squared. So here we have c and 1 over c. And now let's rewrite our equation given this substitution. This leaves us with a plus b plus c equals 1 over a plus 1 over b plus 1 over c. And in fact, this will simplify a bit more, but before we do that remaining simplification, let's maybe pretend that we haven't noticed what's coming down the line. And I'll not state it here just in case you want to think about it yourselves. So the logical thing to do now would be to clear the denominators. So we have something which is hopefully a little bit simpler to work with. So let's clear the denominators here by multiplying everything by a times b times c. Okay, so over on the left-hand side, that'll leave me with a times b times c. So I won't write that as a squared times b times c because as we'll see, we'll get some nice simplification. Then we'll have plus b times a times b times c, and then plus c times a times b times c. And over on the right-hand side, we have ab plus bc plus ac. That's not exactly the order that those come out in, but that's close enough, I think, especially because we have commutativity of addition. Now we look at this and notice that the complicating factor here is this a times b times c term. So we'd like to hopefully get rid of that a times b times c term. And we can. And if we look at A, B, and C, how they are defined, we can see exactly how that will simplify. So notice c times b will give us x minus 1 over x squared because these square roots of x minus 1 will double up. Then when we multiply that into a, x squared will cancel the x squared in the denominator, and then the x minus 1 term will also cancel. So that gives us the following observation. A times b times c equals the number 1. So that means that here, this a times b times c is simply the number 1. This a times b times c is 1. And this a times b times c is also 1. Okay, so now we've got this polynomial equation. So notice we have 3 variables and it's quadratic at the moment. Let's see if we can move it around to get an idea of what's really going on. So let's maybe move that a times b, the b times c, and the a times c over. That'll leave me with minus ab minus bc minus ac plus b plus c. So we've got this quadratic term, this linear term, and keep in mind that we want to set this equal to 0, so hopefully we want to build some sort of way to factor this. But how can we do that? Well, the trick here is to add the number 0. And we'll add the number 0 in the following way. I'll add A times B times C over here, and I'll subtract 1 over here. And just to reiterate what happened, this A times B times C minus 1 is really just adding the number 0 given this relation up here. Okay, but now what we're left with can factor. Notice that it indeed factors as A minus 1 times B minus 1 times C minus 1 equals 0. If you were to multiply that out, you would achieve exactly what we have on this higher line. A times B times C, A times B times -1 gives us this. A times -1 times C gives us this, and then so on and so forth. Notice that to get B, we'll do -1 times B times -1. That's why it's positive. Okay, so let's note that that immediately tells us that A equals 1, B equals 1, or C equals 1. But that gives us 3 fairly simple equations to solve. So we get x squared over x minus 1 equals 1. So that's from A equals 1. We get the square root of x minus 1 equals 1. That's from B equals 1. And we get this square root of x minus 1 over x squared equals 1. So square root of x minus 1 over x squared equals 1. So let's look at this one first. So this pretty clearly tells us that x equals the number 2. And we get that maybe from squaring both sides and then adding the 1 over. And then what about these remaining equations? Well, let's notice this one right here is the same thing as saying x squared equals x minus 1, which you can solve with the quadratic formula to get 1 plus minus I times the square root of 3 over 2. So this is most definitely a solution, but not a real solution. So that means we're not going to keep this. So not real. But now we just need to analyze this equation, and we'll show that it also does not have a real solution, but there's a little bit of work to do. So we're almost done finding all of our solutions. We showed that x equals 2 is a solution, and then the only possibility for a real solution at the moment is the solution from x squared equals the square root of x minus 1. So let's see if that gives us a solution. So let's notice that is equivalent to x to the 4th power is equal to x minus 1, which is the same thing as saying x to the 4th minus x is equal to -1. And now we'll show that that is indeed impossible. And we'll show that's impossible with the following claim. And that is that x to the 4th minus x is in fact always strictly bigger than -1. So if it's strictly bigger than -1, then it can never be equal to -1. So how will we do this? Well, we're going to use a bit of calculus. So let's set f of x equal to the function x to the 4th minus x, and let's find the minimum of this function. So the minimum will occur when the derivative equals 0. So we've got f prime of x equals 4x cubed minus 1. Setting that equal to 0 gives us x cubed equals 1/4. But notice that only has a single real solution. And that single real solution is x equals 1 over the cube root of 4. Okay, great. Now this will definitely correspond to a minimum, and it definitely corresponds to a minimum because the overall shape of this x to the 4th minus x is like a parabolic type shape. So we're leaving a few details out here, but I think that's okay for the end game of this problem. So since that's a minimum, we just have to show that that indeed gives us a number which is bigger than -1. So let's look at this. So we have f evaluated at 1 over the cube root of 4. So that's going to be equal to, let's see, 1 over 4 to the 4 thirds power. That's going to be the cube root of 4 to the 4th power minus 1 over the cube root of 4, which is 4 to the 1/3 power. Now from here, what I'll do is factor out a 4 to the 1/3. So factoring out a 4 to the 1/3, that's like factoring out a 1 over the cube root of 4. And that'll leave us with, let's see, 1 over 4 to the 1st power minus 1. So that's going to be negative 3/4. But now let's notice that this 1 over the cube root of 4 is less than 1. But that makes this whole thing strictly bigger than negative 3/4, which is strictly bigger than negative 1, which is exactly what we needed to finish off this claim. Thanks for sticking around. If you're still around, maybe consider subscribing to the channel. It would be a big help. Also, if you're interested more in course content, like if, for example, you're a student or you just want to brush up on all of the details for given courses, I've got a second channel just for that. It's called Math Major. It's linked in the description, and that's a good place to stop.